Very good morning, students. Yesterday's class we have discussed about structure and function of the nerve cell. Now we are going to discuss properties of the nerve cell. What are the properties of the nerve cell? So first of all, the nerve cells, they do not divide. Means there is no nerve cell to divide and form new nerve cell. That is the first property which is exhibited by the nerve cell. And next, once they form in our body along with the organ system, again new nerve cell or neurons are not able to form in our body. Means new neurons are not forming. They are not forming. New neurons are not able to forming. That is the thing. And next, if any damage occurred, they won't repair. They will die. That is the one thing. So they do not repair which damage. So if any nerve cell or neuron is damaged, it is not able to repair itself. That is an important property. And next, they use glucose as a respiratory substratum. So glucose is the main respiratory substratum. It is main source of energy for the nerve cell to function. And another important, they die if oxygen supply stops for 5 minutes. That is, if they do not obtain oxygen for 5 minutes continually, that leads to death of the nerve cell. So they die if oxygen is not available for 5 minutes. If oxygen source is not available for 5 minutes, that leads to death. That is the important property of the nerve cell. So here nerve cells are exhibiting some of the important properties. What are they? They do not divide, means division, how the cell cycle is occurring in somatic cells as well as germ cells. Here in nerve cells, there is no cell division and there is no formation of new cells. And they do not repair in case they get damage. That is important. And next, glucose is the main source of energy to carry out respiration. That is important. And they die if oxygen availability is stopped at least for 5 minutes. If 5 minutes duration of time, if there is no availability of the oxygen, that leads to death to the nerve cell. That is the 5 important properties of the nerve cell. Now we will discuss about types of nerve cells. So here nerve cells are of 3 types. So what are the 3 types of nerve cells and where they are present? What is their function? That is the types of nerve cell. See, there are 3 types of nerve cells or neurons are present. How many types of neurons are there? So, types of neurons or nerve cells. So there are 3 types of nerve cells or neurons. How many types are there? 3 types of nerve cells. What are the 3 types of nerve cells? Number 1, sensory neurons or sensory nerve cells. That is one type. And next, motor neurons. That is another type of nerve cells. And next another type is relay. Relay neurons. These are the three different types of neurons or nerve cells that are found in our nervous system. So first, sensory neurons. Sensory means what? Sensor where it is caused and which is in sense organs. So sensory neurons. These are also called as receptor neurons. What do these are also called? Receptors. Receptor neurons means receiving. What they are receiving? So stimulus make activation of nerve cells by the producing of impulse. For the production of nerve impulse from the receptor cells is passed through the sensory neurons. That's why these are called receptor neurons. What are they called? Receptor neurons. And these are found in sense organs. So what are sensory neurons means? The neurons are nerve cells that are present in sense organs. Where they are present? Sense organs. Then what are they are called? Sensory neurons or receptor neurons. See, what is the function of the sensory neurons? Sensory neurons, they transmit information from receptor towards the central nervous system. So what is the function of the sensory neurons is they transmit, means they carries impulse towards to the central nervous system. So from sensory neurons, what is the function is from receptors towards to the central nervous system. They conducts the impulse from sensory organs, that is from sensory receptors, and carry forwarding towards to the central nervous system. That is the important function. So sense organs, from that the sensory nerves carrying message or information towards to the central nervous system, which the central nervous system consisting of brain and spinal cord. That is important. Next, motor neurons or motor nerve cells. So the motor nerve cells or motor neurons are also called as effector nerve cells. What do they are called? Effector. These are called effector neurons. What do they are called? Effector neurons. These effector neurons, they transmit the impulse from central nervous system towards to the effector organ. Where they are affecting? Effector organ. The reason where the organism is going to responding towards to the stimuli. For example, so this is my hand. In the fingertips, I have sensory neurons. Why? Because receptors present in sense organ. So skin is the sense organ. It is consisting of sensory receptors. So from this, if I touch any hard object, what is happening here? From these receptors, the message is carried forwarding towards to the central nervous system. That is from hand to the spinal cord and the brain. That is what going towards the central nervous system. That is heart. That property is the information which is causing burning sensation in our hand. That message is carried towards the central nervous system. So again it have to give reply. Central nervous system should give reply towards it. So what it is giving? From the central nervous system, the information is carried forwarded through the motor neurons, which is acting on effector organ. Now I have to, after touching hot object, I have to remove my hand or withdraw. So for the withdraw of my hand from the hot object, here is the effector acting that allows to pull. That is effector neuron going to be function. That is the motor neuron which is called. So what is motor neuron means? These are called as effector nerve cells or neurons, and these transmit impulse from central nervous system towards to the effector cells or effector part, where the organism is able to respond towards to the stimulus. That is motor nervous system. And next, relay neurons. These are also called as connectors, connecting neurons. These are called connectors or connecting neurons. See, what is this importance? So, these relay neurons are rising from central nervous system that connects in between sensory neurons and motor neurons and integrate their function to give the response towards to the stimulus. That is the function of the relay neurons. So the relay neurons, it consisting of nerves carrying from the central nervous system, which are connecting to the, that is forming a link in between sensory neurons, motor neurons, and allows to integrate in their function to give response towards to the stimulus. That is the important function of relay neurons. Hence they are called as connectors or connecting neurons. These are the three different types of nerve cells. So what are the three different types of nerve cells? Sensory neurons, motor neurons, and relay neurons. So these sensory neurons carries information from sense organs towards the central nervous system. That is their function. And motor neurons, these are carrying information from central nervous system towards to the effector, where the organism is going to respond to the stimulus. Relay neurons, these are the connectors in between sensory neurons, motor neurons, and allows them to integrate their function to give response towards to the stimulus. These are the three types of neurons. Now, let us discuss nervous system in human beings. So, in human nervous system, so human nervous system consisting of three types of systems. Three types of, consisting of three parts. The human nervous system consisting of three parts. What are the three parts of nervous system? Number one is CNS, Central Nervous CNS means Central Nervous System. That is one nervous system, one part of a nervous system in human beings. Next one, peripheral nervous system. That is PNS. And another type of system is autonomous nervous system. That is PNAS. These are the three parts of a nervous system in human beings. What are that? One is central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, and autonomous nervous system. These are the three types of nervous system in human beings. Under that, let us discuss what are the types of, what is the function of these all. Now, central nervous system in human beings, it is consisting of two parts mainly, that is brain and spinal cord. What does it consisting of? Brain and spinal cord. Brain and spinal cord are playing a key role in controlling of all body functions in our body, in responding towards to the changing in environment. That is an important function of central nervous system. And this central nervous system consisting of cranial nerves and spinal nerves. Cranial nerves and spinal nerves are present. So under central nervous system, brain and spinal cord, they are playing a key role in controlling all the body functions. That is one. Next, peripheral, PNS. So it is consisting of system of neurons which are rising from cranial, that is from the brain and the spinal cord. So the PNS is consisting of the neurons which are rising or coming from the brain, that is from the central nervous system they are going towards itself. That is the peripheral nervous system which allows to control the functions of the muscles. So skeletal muscle function. So that is movement of the muscles, how to react towards them. That all the functions should be carried by under the PNS. Next, ANS, autonomous nervous system. So autonomous means it is functioning by its own, even though the nerve cells of autonomous nervous system, they are a part of central nervous system, but their function is under their own. For example, the secretion of digestive juices, it starts secretion without any instructions from the central nervous system. Once the food is taken, automatically the digestive juices are secreted. The heartbeat to continue, that is also under the monitoring of autonomous nervous system. The peristaltic movement of the food through the food canal or esophagus, that is also under monitoring of the autonomous nervous system. So that is what different types of nervous systems are found in human nervous system. Under central nervous system, next we will continue about the structure of brain and its function.